I want to take a moment to apologize about the microphone quality of the last few videos. It turns out that while I was switching the volume on certain parts of the menus, it wasn't actually changing it during the broadcast or the recording. Therefore, a lot of the time the game volume just drowned out the mic. That's not too bad for the actual gameplay, where I don't really talk because I concentrate on the gameplay itself, but I apologize if that has made the other videos harder. And this is the second time I'm shooting this video, because after I did the gameplay and everything, the footage was corrupt. So I'm not really going to do a gameplay with this one just yet. I might do it tonight or tomorrow, so it might be a day or two afterwards that we get the gameplay for this character. But I do want to go over the build. Now, Turbocharge is a great ability. He has it, the Turian soldier has it, and both human soldiers have it. It's a fantastic ability that you usually do not want to pass up, but we're not taking it on him. I have two human soldiers. I'll show those builds off at some point. One does run a full turbocharge. My Turian soldier runs a full turbocharge. My main human soldier runs 3 in turbocharge. He's going to run nothing. And the reason for that was I always felt like I could pass up Incinerate and I can't pass up turbocharge. But once I started using FLAK cannon properly and was really able to get a lot of mileage out of FLAK cannon, it was really, like, he has so much going on, it's really hard to keep up with him. He's a Turian, so he's got great weapon damage. He's got the extra accuracy and stability, and he has 3 really good abilities. And even though I have 1 point in turbocharge, I end up forgetting to use it half the time because you just throw a lot of FLAK cannons out there because they buffed how many FLAK cannons you can have, so you go in there with 10 of them. I'm actually going to start with the FLAK cannon, and you can take the damage at force or the power cells. I like having the 3 extra power cells. I use FLAK cannon a lot. And the reason I use it a lot is because of stunning. Now, anti-armor is a lot of armor, but you have to remember the shrapnel does less damage to armor anyway. But you can shoot this into a group of berserkers and you'll stun them all. This is awesome. It's amazing. Just shoot into a group of enemies, they take damage over time, they get stunned. You see your buddy trying to revive someone, getting swarmed by enemies, bam, stun them. You can really get up and close with this build because you're going to take a lot of fire off of you. We take FLAK. Shredder does seem like the better option, but the reason I like FLAK is because it makes the actual explosion 50% bigger, which means the area of effect to get hit by the stun is 50% bigger. So by taking FLAK, you stun a bigger radius, and that stun is amazing. Now the way I run this build is I run it with a ghost and an equalizer. I use the equalizer primarily. I use the ghost only when I'm on an upload or something, and the equalizer does have that short range. I need something to fire a lot further. I take the enhanced munitions to give that FLAK cannon a little extra burst. By taking a quick fire weapon, we can take advantage of the sustained fire. So I take 20% power damage to increase the FLAK cannon incinerate damage and get 1 extra power cell. That brings us up to 10. I take the weapon efficiency, it's just good, and we're never going to melee with this character. And then of course the sustained fire. Because the idea of this build, the way I run it, is you throw a FLAK cannon into a group of enemies, you shoot one with your equalizer with like an ammo, you take like a disruptor or incendiary ammo in there, you prime one of the guys, you hit them with the detonator, you explode the group, and if they don't die, you stun them back, rinse, repeat. Great crowd control on this build. It does great damage. I like the detonator just because, other than FLAK cannon, like, being able to make your own, fire explosions with like an ammo or something. It takes this build to the next level. It really does. And because of this, I realized when I tried to run a turbocharged flat cannon build, I never used turbocharge. I was too busy hitting flat cannons. If I went into a turbocharge, I would interrupt it all the time to hit flat cannons because the enemies and trying to crowd control. Incinerate, unfortunately, fortunately, is a quick move. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. You can really just do incinerates between flat cannons, and it really is amazing. Turbocharge isn't excluded because it's a bad ability. It's just this guy has so much going on that it's kind of overwhelming to keep up with it, and it's one of the few situations where I find turbocharge, like, it almost gets in the way. Like, yeah, you can burst him down with turbocharge, but it's like you could be using flat cannons during that moment to take care of the crowd control and get that fire off you. It's fantastic if you got an infiltrator trying to do devices, or if somebody's being revived, you just shoot the enemies around them and you just take the heat off them. I mean, he's not a Krogan, he's not super tanky, but it's one way you can really just help your teammates out with this build. And here we're going to take the health and shields. We're going to take the damage resistance because we don't really care for the melee or the hover. And then we take close quarter momentum. The melee build bonuses aren't really relevant, but the max health and shields is much needed by this character. Some characters have a lot of the health and shield regen. He doesn't. He does not have very good regen, so you need that extra health. And I think this is the least I've really talked about one of my builds. They're usually like 20-minute videos. And the thing is, it seems simple on the surface, but once you see this guy in action, it's like, holy shit. As far as guns, like I said, I take a Ghost and an Equalizer, quick firing weapons, they prime well. You know, you can hit the flat cannon and just fire into them. I take the munitions, that way the flat cannons do extra damage. As far as consumables, you definitely want to take an ammo. It doesn't need to be a level 4. Level 1 Disruptor or Incinerary works perfect. It gets the job done. And then I'll take a Combat Power Amp, or if you have them, you can take Capacity Mod so you can run more flat cannons. Either one are very good. They're good choices. Those are what I would run with him. And with that, that pretty much covers up the build. I thought I'd talk a lot more, but I mean, his stuff is really self-explanatory. With other characters, you really do have to go in and explain the synergy of it. But you don't really have to do that with this character, because, I mean, he's straight and to the point. You bust him with the flat cannon, you stun him, you incinerate to explode them, and you just watch it die. It's amazing. I will hopefully get the gameplay uploaded soon, once I get a chance, but in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the build. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you want me to continue on with gameplays, or if you just prefer the build, or how you like them. Make sure to check out my other 2 builds. I've already done the Solarian Infiltrator and the Human Infiltrators. And I've been trying to do out-of-the-box builds. I try not to do the typical builds for those characters. My Human Infiltrator is... I think you should really check him out. He's all about running around with a pistol. So, and with that, guys, I appreciate it. Once again, if you guys could comment, like, share, subscribe, only if you like it. And check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/ThomasEnigma. All the social media links are in the description, as well as anything you could ever need to know about me and my content. And with that, guys, I will see you next time.